Dan, what are you Dan, that's such a bullshit unprovoked attack right at the beginning of the show.
I don't care.
Anyways, guys,
I said what I
welcome
said.
wrestling friends to another edition of Smarknado. I'm sorry about that note. I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the Danacanda dirty emphasis on the dirty, Dan Cessnett. Dan, how you doing? You seem to be in quite a salty mood.
No, I'm great, man. I am not salty at all. You took shots at my sweatshirt. Big shout out K's Pizza, Burden Lake.
Hey,
I won't say
to be fair,
I won't say what he said.
Shots. I said that I heard that it's not that good.
If you ain't been there, I don't want to hear it. Your opinion's invalid. But I digress as usual. No, I'm not salty at all, man. I had a good week. How about you? I had a good day and a half, I should say.
We last saw each other a couple of days ago, but everything's been, riding that momentum, man, keeping it productive. That's why we're back here today. Talk about what's happening this week. And, obviously we're preparing for a big weekend for everyone in the United States and some places internationally. This is Super Bowl weekend. It's really big deal for us. I think it's going to be a fun game. Maybe we're not.
To be honest with you, I keep forgetting, and I'm having a bunch of people at my house, and I still just keep forgetting it's this weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get creative because my sister has tasked me with being in charge of the desserts this year.
Oh, snap. I got some good ideas if you want to talk to me after the show.
Yeah. I mean, don't get
Simple
me wrong.
Stuff.
I'm a hefty boy, so I do follow some Instagram pages of some really good recipe ideas and stuff like that. So if I utilize my resources, I can come up with it. But Dan,
I haven't even thought about it.
Dan's kind of a snack god, so I should also consult with him in order to
snack god. I've been snacking on so much shit. You got any good snack advice for me this week? I like you because you get weird shit that I don't normally get.
So man. I love going to those that know me. I love going to Trader Joe's and getting really good stuff there. This past week, I got they have the JoJo's, which is their version of the Oreo. It's not as good, but they came up with a cinnamon roll flavor that's really good. It's like cinnamon roll cream in the middle.
I trust Trader Joe's, man. I just don't get there often enough. And I know that they're pretty reasonably priced, but I don't know, man. I'll get over there and I'll test some snacks out and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, dude. I probably tried most of them, but I digress. We'll Snacknado some other time, guys.
Snacknado.
Let's talk about right now what happened today. We're leading into the WrestleMania press conference that's going to happen in Las Vegas because TKO and big fights and blah, 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 blah. Some corporate bullshit reason why it's over there, even though the show's in Philadelphia. But I digress. The Rock was on the Pat McAfee show.
Fuck Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee seems like kind of a tool these days. And he's kind of – this sounds like – a totally stupid opinion of why he's left a bad taste in my mouth. But I think he was so confident in his comedic timing and how good he is at getting reactions that he thought that his Royal Rumble entry was going to go off beautifully and everyone was going to love it. But it was just so fucking ill-timed and botched and lame and just such a waste.
Mean, I thought he was lame before that, but there's no.
I don't hate Pat McAfee. I really don't. He called out. He did call out Aaron Rodgers.
I think he's I think he's got that Rogan thing where he's. Well, I think he's got that Rogan thing where he's just a really dumb smart guy, or a really dumb smart guy. Or vice versa, whatever it is. I'm not smart at all, and I don't pretend to be. But they just pretend they're bro smart. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just can't.
Yeah,
get that's not my vibe.
Yeah, I mean it's how he comes off. It's a little bit off-putting and whatnot. But really, just to get to the meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to say, The Rock addressed that he loves Cody Rhodes and he respects his passion. And then he addressed the Cody crybabies, the fans that are crying over Cody not getting in the main event. Now, here's a couple thoughts that I got from that instantly. Is like, I think that Rock has a right to have some sort of a grievance right now, some sort of fire lit under him, especially for the real life fact that both him and his daughter, of all people, have been getting death threats over WWE booking. That's just that is just way fucking out of line.
And booking that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's not really set in stone yet.
Show me the stone. Show me the stone.
Bro,
the Vince disciples are going off on them, and truthfully, like, nothing is set in stone. So I don't know, man.
Listen, I am obsessed with wrestling. I think Dan, it may be obsessed with wrestling, but not to the degree that I am, but at least to the point where we have a weekly wrestling podcast and we just want to talk about it because it's one of the main things that we talk about.
Yeah.
But this doesn't mean that we take it so fucking seriously that we're going to resort to violence over fucking booking on a wrestling show when there's so many different options that are out there.
I've never resorted to violence, but to be fair, I have wished violence and death on people on this show regularly. So I won't say that I don't wish bad things on people, but I also don't believe in death threats against one, a daughter of somebody that has zero to fuck all to do about it or with it or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
And The Rock, like, at the end of the day, if you're ever going to get that fired up about anything that's not real, take a fucking Xanny and chill the fuck out.
Yeah, get a fucking life, for Christ's sake.
Smoke a bowl. Like just or unalive yourself, honestly. Like, I'm not even like gonna say that lightly. Like, or
I'm not gonna go that morbid, but I certainly think that people need to have more social interaction to not feel so, because I think that a lot of these people unfortunately are very alone. And when you're very alone, you're alone with your thoughts and you don't have anyone else to get some energy from, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think people like that are more susceptible to have those kind of thoughts.
Maybe that's why all wrestling fans are smelly, is because most of them don't want to be alone with their thoughts. And the shower is like the worst place for that.
That's true. That's true. We're lucky that you and I both smell like Tom Ford, and not like
and Newports.
And
truthfully,
well, you know, wrestling fans smell like Newports and Burger King, just like the king of the bums.
I love Eddie Kingston so much.
Yo, another thing about what The Rock said though, and the backstage reports that I've been reading is like they seem to be very much aware of this backlash and how the fans are just rallying behind Cody Rhodes. And I read from the Wrestling Observer that The Rock sees this as a potential new Daniel Bryan movement. He feels that the Daniel Bryan movement back in 2013 was botched, and he wants this to be well executed. So it's interesting, and it's making me think to myself, like, I truly think that The Rock is going to do what's best for business. And if there is like this groundswell of people that are this overwhelmingly for Cody, and he was giving out signs they were actually handing out we want Cody, the hashtag we want Cody. They want that to be their thing, even though it was started by fans. So you know how WWE operates. They want to take advantage of an organic movement. So yeah.
Rock is eternally full of shit.
Eternally
full of shit. He is backpedaling on all of this. The plan was for him to get what he wants, and now he wants his squeaky clean image, and he is backpedaling on all of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but I'm not. But I think he wants people to think, oh, he was always in on it.
Oh yeah. Like that's.
No,
I
he's
don't
full of shit,
necessarily
bro.
think
Like
that's the. I
this
don't
is
necessarily think that's the case. I think that this is a course correction
this is him
that they're
trying to
making.
save face.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And like I'm not
Okay.
saying. I would have thought you of all people being a rock fan would be the one to defend the Rock, a
Oh,
little
I mean,
bit.
I love The Rock from 1997, 98 through
Like
2002
2007.
to 2002,
Yeah.
2003. But like after that, I loved Hulk Hogan when I was a kid too. Doesn't mean I don't
Mhm.
realize now that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
Like and a
Yeah.
racist ass
Like,
face.
listen. I'm not in any way trying to make my point saying that like
Okay.
The Rock knew about this all along. I think
I
that
think I
that is a
misunderstood what you were
possibility, but
saying.
I think that is a more unlikely possibility than this being a course correction.
Okay. I
Um,
just misunderstood where you were coming from, I think.
yeah,
But I think we're on the same page. It's definitely a course correction for Rock trying to save his image because the fans and even the casuals and the WWE diehards and the AEW fans are all like, yo, kind of like it's that meme where they're all like all the swords are in together. It's like we were all like, yo, kind of like fuck you.
and dude, would you agree also like people wouldn't be this united if they didn't go the lengths that they did of Cody winning the Royal Rumble and literally pointing to Roman and then just last second taking this away from us? It is a very what the fuck thing just based on those two factors alone,
It
you
didn't make
know?
any sense.
Yeah,
It
it
just
didn't
didn't
make
make any
any
sense.
sense. Like if they were actually going to plan on The Rock versus Roman, there's no why would you have Cody win the Rumble at all? Like
And
I just can't get over that.
it really doesn't make sense because even the diehard WWE can do no wrongs who don't give a fuck about WWE logic were like, yeah, y'all fucked up.
Yeah,
Like, so like even those idiots who have fucking mud for brains can't
right.
fucking can see that it's a colossal blunder. Like, obviously it is.
And in that respect, Rock calling people Cody crybabies. I hope he's talking about the ones that are resorting to violence specifically, because
He sh-
people that just have a general grievance that what the fuck, this is totally supposed to be Cody. What the hell is going on here? Like
uh,
they're not being crybabies; they're just being viewers of the product and are being robbed of their intelligence. Really.
did I say this last week or in the group chat that like they're gonna have to do a massive like logic jump to try and course correct this.
Hmm.
It's just gonna be mind boggling what they're gonna try and do to make us believe that that was the way it was gonna be the whole way, or at least make us believe that the course correction is okay. It's
Yeah.
gonna be tough, man. I don't know. I don't know what they're
It's gonna
gonna
be
do.
it's gonna be an uphill battle going into WrestleMania, and
And
weeks of TV is gonna be interesting.
weeks of TV are going to be interesting, and
Yeah,
you know, I'm not playing the tribalist here. I think everybody obviously knows my bias is AEW, but AEW is putting together a really good Revolution card, and the build has been good. So they're kind of comparable pay per views in the sort of lexicon
I
of,
mean,
of wrestling.
that to me that remains to be seen, just because like the WrestleMania card just hasn't really been fully established yet. I mean, alone, I am very excited about EO versus Bailey, and that's big. That's bigger than any. Uh, yeah, I would say that's bigger than Deanna versus Tony, just because like they've had this damage control program going for so long.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
But story wise, yes. Do you think that Deanna versus Tony or Bailey versus Io is going to be a better in ring match?
ugh, that's gonna be it's gonna be hard to say, but I have more confidence in EO and um and Bailey just putting together a better story. But I see Deanna and Tony having more potential for like more holy shit moments, just based on the nature of the companies.
Okay.
You know,
I
yeah.
mean, it's a very on the fence answer, but I respect it.
It's hard to say. Like those are all women that are like A tier to me, women's
Yeah,
wrestlers. So like it's hard for me to like who's gonna have a better match. That's not an easy answer
it's not.
at
It's not.
all.
I'll say that I think I'm going to just flat out enjoy Tony versus Deanna more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the story is going to be better in the ring and coming out of the match versus with Bailey versus Io for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's also just touch on extremely shocking out of left field news that happened today, at least out of left field to the eyes of the public, maybe not in the eyes within the company. Scott D'Amore has been released from TNA,
Shit
and
canned by all accounts.
he's already been replaced. The reports that are out there are saying that this has to do with Scott asking to increase the TNA budget, and the proof being the success that they have had recently and how he's really turned a 180 for that company for the
Really,
past few years, you know?
nobody has given a fuck about them until recently.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
even as recently as the pay-per-view we went to that was at fucking the Albany Armory,
Hmm.
like a pay-per-view at a
Yeah.
place that I could probably
That's arguably their biggest show of the year
yeah.
is Bound for Glory.
So I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Anthem's really screwing the pooch on this one, I think.
They are
Man.
screwing the pooch on this one.
Unless
Obviously all the
there's something
fans,
more behind it.
yeah,
Let's keep that in
unless there
mind.
is
We
something
don't
more
know.
behind it. I'm going to get to that in a second, but first I just want to say that like just about every wrestler who has ever had an interaction or has worked for Scott D'Amore has like tweeted out today or posted on Instagram just their appreciation for him and just how much he has meant to their careers and meant to their lives outside of wrestling too. And you know, coming from a very genuine place there, and it seems like, and you know, it's not to say maybe he has had some less than savory relationships with people. We certainly don't know that at all. But it is interesting, even though this guy is a bit of a shit stirrer. I don't know if you saw it, Dan, but like Nick Hausman was absolutely going off this afternoon on Mike Johnson and saying that his report is bullshit. And when they looked into an investigation of like Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, possible sexual like harassment claims in that company, there was an investigator that came in uh, that they said was an independent investigator, but apparently they were an employee of Anthem. And like, I don't know. I don't know the validity of all this, but I just thought it was like, huh,
I'm gonna wait for
where's
the
this all
smoke to
coming
clear.
from?
I'm gonna wait for the smoke to clear, but I'll say this much.
Yeah.
If D'Amore was fired strictly because he went in and said, "Look, I'm making this company money. I want more," that's fucked up, and whoever hires him is gonna get a steal.
Absolutely.
Right. Like a
100%.
steal. He's an amazing wrestling mind.
Dude, you know what I'd love to see happen, but it won't happen? Scott D'Amore to go and buy the NWA from Billy Corgan.
Buy the NWA or give him the Ring of Honor book.
Yeah, but like, I mean, if he's, I'd rather see him at a place that like, I don't know, Ring of Honor to me just because it's like more of a farm system. So like it's, I feel like I can't help but feel like it's more of a downgrade. Going to NWA feels more like a lateral move, even though like right now TNA is better than the NWA is, but it still feels like more of a lateral move than Ring of Honor, in my opinion. And Ring of Honor is very special to me and everything, but it is just in terms of, you know, taking it seriously through the wrestling world. Like I don't
both
see
of
it
them
as like
could use somebody to rebuild a brand's name. Both of them.
yeah.
And Tony Khan's not able to do that with Ring of Honor being too
Mhm,
busy with AEW, and that's okay. It's okay.
mhm.
He'll never admit that, but we all know it. We've said it ad nauseum. We're not going to say it again. But TNA is not going to thrive under Billy Corgan, sadly enough. It's just not going to.
No.
We thought so for a while, and then he proved he will make bad decisions spitefully,
Yeah.
right? And that's not going to go anywhere for you, right? So I
Mhm.
don't know. All I know is wherever D'Amore ends up, like I said, he's going to most definitely be an asset to any company.
Absolutely. I think another option too that I left out is just the New Japan brand in America. That's
Strong,
another
yeah,
one.
strong. Could be interesting.
All right, Dan. So let's talk about this pretty interesting episode of Dynamite that we had from this past week, shall we?
I think that we shall. Bunch of shit happened. Where to start realistically? Um, I don't know. Do you work from the beginning or the end and work backwards? Do you start at the beginning?
Yeah, let's just start at the
So,
beginning. I mean, like right away, we have the world title picture right here. It's going to be
yeah,
Swerve against Hangman, who is going to face Samoa Joe at Revolution. Um, you know, I love these guys, and I think that their chemistry is amazing and everything. And while I enjoyed the in ring work of all this, there just was missing that element of like I kind of knew what was going to happen going into it. You know what I mean? Like I I still loved the match, and I thought that they busted their asses and everything, but there
AEW does
wasn't
time limit
like
draws well though.
yeah, but there just wasn't that like I don't know surprise of like who's going to win because I kind of knew that no one was going to win and we were going to get the triple threat match. But I enjoyed
I
it for what it was.
so a couple of things that yes, it was predictable, but there was a few things that made me enjoy it in spite of that. One, the crowd last night was top fucking notch. Phoenix blew the roof off that place
Mhm.
at every little thing, and kudos to them. But I liked the after the bell reaction of Hangman. The Sly, is he going to turn heel? Like, what's going to
Yes,
happen here? So
yes,
there's
yes.
definitely something to be said about, yeah, the match, we kind of knew what was going to happen, but it begins to change the dynamic of the match. Okay, so we were
100%.
going in thinking that Swerve was going to be the heel, the secondary heel in this match, with Joe being the big bad and Hangman's going to be the babyface. But I don't think that's going to be the dynamic anymore. I think it's going to be the crowd wanting Swerve to win.
Yeah,
And I won't say they're going to call an audible or anything like that. In my heart of hearts, if I have to give an early prediction, I still think Joe wins. But I think this whole thing sets Swerve up for a babyface run where he eventually does dethrone
I mean, we
Joe.
saw we saw it right after this match, man. And I shouldn't have been thinking about purely just the bell to bell aspect of this match because honestly, after the match, the build to this pay per view, it is just thrown
Wow.
a wrench into everything in a good way. In that, like, you didn't see this happening. You didn't see this dynamic of Swerve wanting to get 5 more minutes, and then Hangman denying him, and then they
Yeah.
confirm the triple
It
threat
was
match.
dirty.
Hangman is incensed, and Hangman is reacting like a heel here. And Swerve is the one that's like the baby face. That's, oh yeah, I'm gonna be put into this match because this guy couldn't pin me 1, 2, 3. And honestly, he was about to pin Hangman 1, 2, 3 before the time expired. So
It was well done.
it's very interesting. This potentially, man, uh, now that this has got my wheels turning in my head of Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, just for the
With
fact
the
that
yeah.
we had the double turn happen at WrestleMania 13. There, you have that iconic imagery of Steve Austin in a crimson mask. You
Yeah.
have the iconic imagery in this feud of Hangman or I'm sorry, of Swerve.
Yeah.
In the Crimson Mask too. So like there's some parallels here, and yes, they're both double turns, but there's a lot that's in common that's happening.
Yeah. It's a good
The top baby face turning heel, because you can make a case that Hangman is the top baby face in AEW. Right now you can. Not
yeah.
maybe not right now, but as of maybe a couple weeks ago.
I'm hard pressed to I mean Eddie.
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe. But yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this is really cool shit, man. I'm interested to see how this develops. I'm interested to see if Swerve is a baby face. Where does that leave the rest of the Mogul Embassy? Like, are those guys all going to turn baby face too? Like, I'm interested.
No,
in
I think
you
started to see the split between Swerve and Nana last week. I think that's going to eventually happen.
Yeah.
Unless they keep Swerve and Nana together, and Cage goes off and does his own thing, and Gates of Agony go off and do their own thing too, because I don't think either of them are going to be baby faces. So maybe Mogul Embassy dissolves, but Swerve and Nana sort of still stay together in some capacity. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I couldn't be happier that we're going to be live in attendance, and I hope to God we see a world title change and Swerve gets the belt and we're in attendance for that, because that would be hella special.
I wonder if they're gonna make Sting's last match the main
last
event.
Match.
I'd imagine it's gonna be the main event, right? Probably.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'd have the balls to kick off the show with this match.
With Sting's last match? Oh, the title match.
Yeah,
maybe. I've seen it. You've seen it done before, so
maybe be interesting. That'd be fun.
I mean, that would be an indicator to me that there probably won't be a title change.
I think that they're more likely to kick the show off with OC and Roddy than anything. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Next, we had Tony Storm against Red Velvet. I like this, and Tony has debuted the ankle lock as her finisher, and just
interesting.
Associated with her character, I think that this can really work, because this is a hold that she can put people in and still be like snarky and say silly things while she has them in the hold. And then also, like she always says, watch out for the shoe. So maybe that could play in somehow also.
She could take off their shoe and throw it at them.
Yes.
Mid I would do that.
After putting them in the ankle lock. Yeah. She could do something like that. Yeah. But,
it never ceases to amaze me how small Red Velvet is every time I see her wrestle. Mm-hmm. Like, she is very, very short. But I like I like her in the ring. I was just like, she's just always shockingly short.
Yeah, she's improved quite a bit too.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. All right, backstage segment with Orange and Roddy, and this leads to eventually the Undisputed Kingdom attack Chuck Taylor. I don't know what it is, but I'm just not really that into it. I
it's a filler feud. It's not doing anything for me. I want to see the match, and I kind of want it to be over. And I think that another early prediction from me is going to be that Roddy takes this title, and then either Orange, which is highly unlikely, or Trent turn heel, and go at it with each other, with sort of Chucky in the middle.
What if Trent joined the Undisputed Kingdom?
That'd be interesting.
I mean, could happen.
Wouldn't be the worst.
Right.
I like that thought.
I want OC to retain, because for whatever reason, Roddy's just not doing it for me lately. And Roddy is one of my favorite wrestlers.
You've been hating on Roddy for a long time, and rightfully so, for a lot of the goofy shit. Mm-hmm. But I still think he can do it in the ring.
Of course, he can still do it in the ring, but I just think right now I'd rather see someone more meaningful take the belt off of Orange Cassidy. And you know
I
where I'm going
agree.
with this. You know where
I know.
I've said for the
Save
last
it.
like 2 episodes.
Save it. Save it. Fucking
Yeah.
save it. I get it. I get it.
I
And
mean, for that matter,
and
man,
if it happens,
anyone in House of
I'm
Black.
happy for you.
Yeah, anyone in House of Black though at the same time too.
There are lots of people that can take it off of him, whoever it is. I think that you know my love for Orange Cassidy runs deep. I think that this run's been a little bit. It's run its course.
Yeah.
It's time. Whoever, then that's why I think Roddy's going to be the one to do it. Even to no matter how much you might dislike it, I think that that's going to be the case.
Yeah,
So,
feels a little cold.
Yeah, a little bit.
Next, we had the trios match of the BCC, Danielson, Claudio, and Mox against Hechicero, Mascara Dorada, and Volador Jr. This shit was good, man.
Bonkers,
Yeah.
man. And I was sitting with Britt watching this show, and I was like, yeah, like these guys. I was like, remember, babe, when I told you that friend of the show Drew went to Arena Mexico? I was like, this is some of the guys that he got to see, and she was like, that's awesome, and she's like, they're really cool, and like, so what I'm saying is, chicks dig two things: big meaty men slapping meat, and luchadors. Like, they just love them. She's like, oh, they're like Ricochet. She loves Ricochet.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I was like, yes, very similar. So, for what it's worth, oh, Eric blowing up. But yeah, it was amazing. I'm a big Hechicero guy now. I think he's
awesome. And I feel like I already knew about Volador Jr. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I know a little.
But I think that Mascara Dorada really fucking showed out in this match. And he just kind of showed why he is like the plucked young, young luchador superstar. He has taken on the identity of who Metalik used to be when he was in CMLL. So, like, this guy obviously has to be very, very good to fill that guy's shoes. And he just is so fucking nimble, and his transitions in the air are fantastic. I would love to see Mascara Dorada versus Vikingo someday if AAA and CMLL ever did work with each other.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, probably never.
I think you have a better chance of seeing WWE and AEW work together than CMLL and AAA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honest to God truth.
Yeah, but still, like, if that match ever happens, it's gonna absolutely fuck. Yeah, so next was the major announcement from Tony Khan, and this wasn't just a silly major announcement that he has been so known to do in recent times. We have AEW Big Business. It's Wednesday, March 13th from the TD Garden. It's going to be in, you guys see that? Boston. Boston.
Yeah.
So
good Lord,
if it's any more obvious, I don't know how they could be any more obvious about it. Guys, this is where we're getting the debut of Mercedes Moné, and hopefully this is going to be just a rocket ship for the AEW women's division. And we're going to see a much more prominent position for them going forward.
I hate to tell you, brother, this is going to be top dollar.
Oh, shut up.
No, in all seriousness, I do think
Top Dollar is in TNA, bro. Do you think I don't know that?
I know you know that. No, I think I'm gonna predict we get Okada here too. I know you don't think so, but I do. I think we're gonna get both of them.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. As much as I've kind of turned on, this idea that he's going to go to WWE, and now I'm seeing, it's probably more and more possible that he is going to go to AEW. I can't help but think that his debut would have to be a separate night from another big debut.
They did Danielson and Adam Cole the same night.
True.
Those are two pretty big names in wrestling.
That's a good retort you gave me. So I mean, it certainly is possible.
But this is very they didn't do
big business.
They didn't do something else with CM Punk.
Yeah.
And the CM Punk got the last dance treatment. So obviously, I don't think that Okada is necessarily going to show up. I think he's more likely to show up as the Cope Open at Revolution than here in that spot.
Yeah.
Because imagine the buzz you create at the Cope Open. You introduce, not only that night, you introduce Ospreay in some shape, form, or fashion at Revolution. You put out the surprise of Okada, and then the following 10 days later, you bust out Mercedes. Like, all of that just pretty much shits on everything that like WWE has done recently. Like, it's all been bad will for WWE. That's all goodwill, assuming that they can book them properly going forward, right? So
yeah, 100%. And while you are laying it out there, it is all about execution. So it remains to be seen. So next we had Takeshita versus Jericho, and it was great to see Takeshita back on TV. I'm glad that Takeshita avenged his loss in DDT here by beating Jericho, and they've continued to build Takeshita strong on AEW television. And I'm glad that he was able to submit Jericho with Jericho's own move, even though, Don Callis interfered here. Yeah, it's good.
I mean, it was a good match. If I never see Don Callis and Jericho together again on screen in AEW, it would be too soon.
Fine with it.
Like, I don't want it anymore. I'm okay with Callis. I'm okay with Jericho, like whatever, but it's time to move on. Like, I'm done. I'm done with it. I like both. I like Jericho. Jericho has got his high points at times when it comes to wrestling now, right? He's done some good stuff since coming to AEW, but it's overkill right now. The feud is fucking ice cold, unfortunately. So. And it's dragging guys like Hobbs and Takeshita down with him.
100%.
And I'll be damned if I'll watch it drag a guy like it is Fletcher, but a guy like Ospreay down when that time comes, right? I just don't want to see fucking Jericho and Ospreay 2 at Revolution. I have no desire.
Fucking no. If that
no desire
happens,
for that.
Jesus Christ, dude.
No desire.
Yeah, dude, you bring it up, and like Hobbs is just not in a prominent spot right now, and there's something
doing nothing.
Something wrong with it. All right, finally for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, we had Ricky Starks and Big Bill defending against Darby and Sting. I think we all kind of knew what the result was going to be here. Nonetheless, really fun moment. I thought it was really cool overall that Sting's sons were in the audience. They're fucking massive too. They could be.
I'll tell you what, they could be a tag team. I don't know why they're not, but a lot of female wrestling fans seem to be thirsting over the one son there, and I was like, damn, good for him, buddy.
Yeah.
Handsome dude though. I get it.
But dude, like, I thought this match was good. It was
a tornado. It was a Darby Sting match, man. It's exactly what it was.
It was interesting to me that Starks did the honors here, and that could have very well just been Starks being like, I want to have the distinction of being pinned by Sting in like his last title match ever. Like it could have been just like that versus like people thinking that, oh, well, Ricky wants out of AEW. So
I don't think it has anything to do
stuff
with
like that. I don't think he does. I think he wants that honor of like putting over Sting.
I also think we're going to get a split of those two here, and I think that Big Bill turns babyface here, and Starks turns on him for some reason, right?
Maybe. I just want to see more with Starks. Like I said a couple days ago, like this is the guy that won the Owen Hart this past year. He was in a big feud with CM Punk before CM Punk left. He was really just in a really great place back in the days where Collision was kind of a separate entity. And
he'll get there. He's too good. He's too good. He'll get there.
Yeah. They need to focus again on him and to focus again on Hobbs, but
if Roddy doesn't win, Starks is a prime candidate to go after Orange Cassidy.
Absolutely. I like that. I very much like that choice too. But brother, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Oh my God, coming out with the white suits, totally fucking disingenuous.
The white baseball bats.
The white baseball bats, delivering a bloody Darby, the EVP trigger, and just getting the blood all over their white suits. It was just such an amazing visual. And
every single person.
I love how like they put out a tweet right afterward and they're just like, we love you guys. We're sorry we had to do this. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions as EVPs. And it's just like, oh my God, like they're such fucking sociopaths, you know, like that's what their characters are.
Anybody that didn't want this is crazy, because I knew that they were going to make this angle hot some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're going to make they love the business of wrestling too much to fuck up the last run of a legend.
Yeah.
This has been good ass shit every way. And it sets them up to fuck around and be the same character once Sting does retire. Right? Like they can do this to anybody. It's beautiful. It's exactly who they should have been for the last year.
I agree. And this is just the best culmination of just like how irritating they were becoming as baby faces, and just
and you didn't trust it. I didn't trust it.
No.
Trust the process.
I certainly respect the game now, and I'm hella looking forward to Sting's last match.
Yeah.
That's going to be a humper, as you like to say.
Bro, we are going to see Sting's last match together, and we saw Kurt Angle's last match together. That's pretty wild stat.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are going to say that.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's crazy. Holy shit. Yeah. Wow. My God.
Got to add a few more to that list, man. That could be our thing.
Yeah, just keep seeing. I'm glad we didn't go to Ric Flair's last match.
I would have literally. Yeah, I don't even know. No, I don't know. No.
Hey, man, you know what? That was a good show until Ric Flair's last match.
I know that. I did know that.
To be fair.
I've
every other match on that show was pretty good.
I believe it. I've heard and believe it. I still won't watch it on principle. Sorry, guys. I respect y'all, but nah, pass.
Yeah, sometimes I like to watch car crashes. So
yeah, I'll watch an actual car crash.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all we got for wrestling this week, Dan.
That's it, man. That's it. I don't think we have anything else. I think we touched on all the big topics. Let's not gloss over the fact that just because all these things happened, that Vince McMahon still isn't on trial for shitting on a girl's fucking head. Fuck him forever. I hope he rots in prison.
You know, that's not to say, Dan, that it won't happen. We are still very early.
I know.
I don't think that this is something that would just happen like instantaneously.
Nor do I.
Let's just be patient. See what happens here, and yeah.
No, I completely understand that there's a process, but I don't want to forget. I want to mention it on every show until that man is brought to justice. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about wrestling without the biggest story in it.
Bro, you know me, and I will totally allow it. And I just want also everybody to know, if you didn't see me share the message yesterday on our Twitter page, we are an official sponsor for VXS Arrival. It's going to be Friday, February 23rd from Queens, New York. VXS, that is Violence and Suffering brand. You guys may have seen that, seen them before. They are on Fight TV. Their show is going to feature the likes of Leo Rush, Sammy Callahan, and Ares. So this is a really big deal for us. Can't fucking wait, bro.
Watch it, buy it, check it out. Yeah, I'm excited to be involved with yet another independent wrestling company. It's just a really fun thing. So not only are we sponsoring VXS this month, we have Showabunga 2 coming up the 18th, which Eric is going to be attending. The main event of that being Trevor Aon versus Eel O'Neill for the Wrestlers Lab Championship. We are very much looking forward to you seeing that in person, me seeing it when it does hit the streaming services, whatever it may be. Also shout out to Chris Ruiz, part of Wrestlers Lab, for doing our design, doing a new t-shirt design, doing all kinds of graphic design work for us, because
just always being there for us too. Like, Chris, we really appreciate you, man, if you're listening.
Yeah. Big shout out to him. As far as sponsorships, we couldn't be happier to be part of Wrestlers Lab. Pro Wrestling Grind in the past, which I'm sure we will get back into sooner rather than later, because they got some fucking bangers coming up.
Ryan's got a big doubleheader coming up next month. Overkill. They're going to have a Friday and Saturday night. We'll come back with the dates, maybe the next show. Didn't have that ready.
It's March 8th and 9th.
March 8th and 9th. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that's exciting for them. Maybe we get it on that. Who knows? I'm hoping that they run in April when I'm up in New York, because if they do, I get to hit a grind show, and that would be fucking spectacular.
Are you going to be there for the entire month of April?
No, not the entire month of April, but I don't know when their April show is. So if it is close enough,
they'll announce the April show
soon,
either a little before or during, or by the time Overkill happens.
Yeah, probably a couple of weeks, I'd imagine. 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks from now. But whenever they do it, if it lines up and I can make it happen, I'm going to, because I have to come up to visit my grandmother, see one of our friends tie the old knot, which should be very exciting, and just get to bro hug my guys up there, man. It's gonna be really exciting. It's gonna be good times.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to that, Dan. Looking forward to seeing you next month. But as always, guys, follow us on Instagram at Smarknado, on Twitter at Smarknado1. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and go check out our link tree. All great stuff there. We got our merch store. We got our YouTube page. We even have a Twitch, apparently.
We have a Twitch that I've yet to touch. It's technically on there. Please don't look for us on Twitch right now.
We're not really big video game guys.
Yeah, or TikTok. I mean, I know that there's uses for them. I don't have the time or the patience on the Tiki-Talkies or the Twitchies or whatever the fuck they're called.
We need a young, savvy, early 20-something social media manager. Just to
here's the thing: if you want to do anything for us for free, or
hit us up
on the show, shout outs on the show, please reach out to us.
Yeah.
But otherwise, stay fresh, cheese bags,
and keep watching wrestling.